And the suburb I'm going to mention here is a suburb called Breakwater. Breakwater is a small suburb, not many people know of it. It's basically the suburb in Geelong that surrounds the Geelong racecourse, so where the horse racing is done. It's very small, not many people know about it. It's about 3 to 4K from the CBD. And I mean, most of the homes there are structurally sound, weatherboard, structurally sound, brick veneer homes, very, very good, rent well long-term, work very well long-term. And I mean, I don't really need to say much because just the location is just incredible. You can see Breakwater sort of in the middle, sort of right side of the bottom of the page there. The race course just there, that's where Breakwater is. It's right next to East Geelong as well, South Geelong too. That's very well located, very, very good suburb to buy in. Very, very good one. I'm happy that it's still that price. It won't last long. People are starting to find out about it, but I mean, it's such a good suburb to buy, and it's going to gentrify. It's in the right location to gentrify. You can't really go wrong buying somewhere like Breakwater. Unsurprisingly, I'm sticking in Geelong for under 600k as well. And the suburb I'm going to mention here is a suburb called Newcomb. So again, it is very close to Breakwater, don't get me wrong. It is close to the CBD, about 3 or 4k from the CBD, depending on where you are. It's like a 5 to 7 minute drive, mind you. And you have a lot of good homes like this, weatherboards, brick veneers, some on massive blocks as well. A lot of homes in Newcomb are still on 500 square metres plus. Some are even larger. Like a recent one was on above 800, believe it or not. That wasn't under 600 though, but there are still some. So that's where Newcomb kind of is. That's the market, about 600k. It is tight still now. I mean, I was buying properties here in the low 500s. I mean, literally last year. But I mean, anyway, it is what it is. And I even did one this year, which was very lucky as well. But really, the thing about Newcomb is its neighbour East Geelong is one of the best suburbs in all Geelong. It is my favourite suburb of Geelong, mind you. And it has a section of it actually called the Golden Triangle. So the Golden Triangle, I'm not going to explain exactly where it is, but it's basically right near the Botanic Gardens there, just across the road from it. It's in a pocket kind of in there. And the suburb that's next door to it is Newcomb. So you get a lot of homes looking like this, well-maintained old originals. You get nice period homes, new builds, all those sorts of homes. You get some massive homes there that sell for multi-million dollars as well, like some for late ones, early twos. Pretty rare for Geelong. Newcomb is literally the next suburb to that. So it's going to be the first suburb where you get the spillover effect of the market actually coming in. And I mean, you're going to get quite a lot of good, properties there that sell for quite a lot of money in the future, because a lot of your East Geelong counterparts who can't afford it will spill over into Newcomb, because it's actually quite a good and safe suburb as well. It's not a bad suburb to live in. Everyone that lives there kind of likes it. So yeah, pretty good in saying that. For under 700k, I'm still sticking to Geelong. Unfortunately, there's not much really nationally under 700k that I'd consider buying. I did mention previously Nollamara in WA, but that's now above it. It's just what happens when I'm mentioning a suburb. It generally will, within the next 6 months, probably break the price I'm saying it's going to be. And the suburb I'm mentioning is North Geelong in Geelong. So obviously, as the name says, it's just north of Geelong CBD. It's quite a large suburb, but I mean, in good pockets, you have a lot of homes like this that have been knocked over, rebuilt as a kind of architecturally designed new home, very common in North Geelong. And really, it's cheaper than a very expensive pocket. So North Geelong is kind of in the middle of the page, just to the right of Bell Park, that kind of long, skinny suburb there. It neighbours Geelong West, which is one of the best, and it is consistently the most in-demand suburb of Geelong. And it neighbours also that little pocket you can see there that just has the streets that you can see there. That's Rippleside and Drumcondra, two very expensive suburb neighbours there as well. The southern side of North Geelong is a very good area to buy if you can afford it. If you get anything sub 700, you're doing very well. And it's just going to gentrify. Like, this whole area will gentrify. It's so cheap for the area it's in. It's such a good suburb to buy in, and I can't see how you're going to do wrong buying here longer term. So that's North Geelong. To come out of Geelong, let's get into under 800k, and this number is going to go within a couple of months. It's pretty much gone almost right now, but I mean, if you're very lucky, you don't mind doing a little bit of work to a property, you can get it sometimes. that suburb, and I'm getting it under 800k. And the suburb I'm mentioning, I'm actually getting into Melbourne now, so it's a very good market, is Braybrook. So like you can see here in the image, Braybrook is just about 10, 11k's west of the CBD. There's a Braybrook Hotel, and you can see the city in the distance. I mean, really, it's very cheap. You shouldn't be able to pick up a suburb for 800k near Melbourne CBD. That's a market anomaly. But really, the thing about Braybrook really in the past is in the early 2000s and pre that late 90s and all before that, there was a lot of public housing in Braybrook. It was actually known as the Bronx of Melbourne for quite a number of years. But really, what's kind of happened there is most of it's been sold off. It's only about 18 or 19% of the whole suburb is public housing now. And of that, more than half of it's probably 10% of that is aged public housing. So it doesn't really feel like public housing. It just feels like you're going past an old kind of retirement kind of sort of village or something like that. It's just your old red brick aged housing. So you get a lot of war vets, you get a lot of people from distressed households that are in their 70s and 80s that live in there. So I kid you not, it's like living in a park. It's that quiet. It's so quiet in those locations. So it's only a small part of the suburb that you shouldn't really be buying in. But funny enough, that actual part of the suburb that does have the dodgy public housing, and most of it's being sold off. And I actually know of an agency that's actually won the contract to sell a number of them off in the next year as well. So, and that's a part of the government's plan. So this is just the VPA, Victorian Planning Authority. This is an actual part of them towards a Braybrook Urban Design Framework. So it's got urban renewal going on. So the reason they're selling it is because they're actually selling it to the private market. They're regenerating the suburb, and then they're pushing those people further out to other places like Melton, where they're buying 2 homes for one, for example, and putting them in there. That's what they're doing. So you won't find that on any government data. The only reason I know that is because I know agents in that kind of field that know what's going on, because they don't want everyone to know where the public housing is, because everyone would avoid the suburb then. But anyway, that's the truth of what's going on. Braybrook, what it's kind of like is Marrickville 20 years ago, and it's also on land. You're still picking up homes here for 400-500 meters squared plus for like 800 grand, for example, right? Sometimes even less. Now, I mean, you're not going to, in Sydney, that would be $3 million to give you an idea. In Brisbane, it would be 1.8 probably, something like that, or 1.5 at least. In Perth, it's probably over $1 million as well now. So, I mean, it's underpriced compared to everything. Braybrook is by far your best suburb, under 800k, especially for the 5% deposit scheme. Let's get into under 900 grand. And it's right nearby. I mean, it's literally a neighbour of Braybrook, and that is West Footscray. So it's probably best known in Melbourne, and for people that I guess probably follow the AFL, for being the home of the Western Bulldogs. This is their ground right here, as you can see. I mean, it was known as a working class kind of should I say, club really of the AFL in years gone by. But really, West Footscray is completely gentrified in all that time, particularly over the last 20, 30 years. West Footscray, depending on where you are, is anywhere from about 7 to about 9k from the CBD, right along the pretty much train line that goes right out west towards Werribee. Anyway, really, West Footscray, it has actually done about 9.7% long-term capital growth. That's over about 50 years, mind you. And it's done next to nothing for like 7-8 years. Mind you, it's picked up about 2 to 5% off its bottom since last year. So it's not completely on its bottom, but it's still definitely there. But anyway, look, just to describe to you how much it's gentrified just in recent years, on the right here is the income and mortgage repayments in 2006. On the left, it is of 2021. So you see 821 up to 1989. That's in 15 years, so it's more than doubled. And the ratio of that has also gone down significantly. So what it means is the wealthier people have moved in the suburb, people are holding their homes on for longer, and also that the actual mortgage repayments are insignificant compared to what they need to be in terms of householding. And most people can almost afford their monthly mortgage repayments here in their weekly earnings. So that's a really good thing for a suburb. It shows a lot of longevity. So really good one in that. That in West Footscray in Melbourne. Now, for under $1 million, look, I wanted to say Kensington in Melbourne, but realistically, Kensington no longer, it isn't not no longer, but it is because Melbourne's bracket is Melbourne's bracket is 950 for the 5% deposit scheme. So you can get it for under $1 million, but you really can't get it for under 950,000. Like, you're scraping under $1 million still now, to be honest. So I've actually gone elsewhere. I haven't gone to Melbourne because I don't think you can get Kensington for that for under 950. It won't actually break the Melbourne 5% deposit scheme. So I'm back actually in Newcastle now in New South Wales, and I'm in a suburb called Islington. So for those that don't know where Islington is in Newcastle, it is in Newcastle. It is an inner western suburb. It's in Ward 1 of Newcastle, and it's about 3 to 4K from the CBD. It's basically the northern neighbour of Hamilton. It's the north side of Hamilton Station. That's really the side. You get homes like this, small weatherboard cottages, very quaint ones, very common in this area. It's a very villagey kind of suburb. To give you an idea, there's two distinctive parts. There's actually kind of three distinctive parts. There's a little part that's near Mayfield that's an industrial area. There's a part that's near the station, and then also the Maryville side of Islington. If you can get either on a quieter street near the station or particularly the Maryville side of Islington, you're doing very well. And for under $1 million, it's an incredible buy at the moment because, I mean, Mayfield East and Mayfield, I'd argue, for a similar quality product would be above $1 million now. So it's very underpriced. But to give everyone an idea what it's kind of like as well, it's kind of like Newcastle's Newtown. It's very quaint. It's very much a walkable kind of villagey kind of suburb. A lot of alternate kind of shops and that kind of thing around there. The thing about Islington too as well is with a $1.5 million deposit scheme, it's only at like in the mid to late 900s at the moment, right? And you pick it up quite easily. And this is a part of, because it's next to Hamilton Station, also the transport-oriented plan. It's also a part of the Newcastle Growth Precincts plan. It's also part of the Wickham Master, the Closer Wickham Master Plan, low to medium density housing code plan. So it affects all of them. So every single person that can buy a house for this budget can buy in Islington and wants to, whether that be a first-home buyer, developer, wealthy person, flipper, wealthy investor, all of them can buy it, and it makes sense for all of them. So that's the reason why a suburb like this is in high demand. Probably the best pick for that current scheme for under $1 million, in my opinion. For under 1.25 million, I'm moving to the Central Coast. I could probably do Newcastle again, but I'd argue for Newcastle, I'd probably want to stick either under close to the 1.5 or probably even under the 1 if you can, or under 1.25 I probably can as well, but I think there's slightly better buy for the scheme. I'm not saying necessarily only for long-term growth, I'm saying for the scheme. And that suburb is Bateau Bay in the Central Coast. So just a word of warning with Bateau Bay. It is in a very good location. So to give everyone an idea, the precincts of growth in the Central Coast really is, it's pretty much Gosford to Terrigal / Avoca, that kind of area. And it's also kind of drawing a line from kind of Lake Haven around the lake, kind of to both, and it's the southern side, to both Terrigal / Wamberal and also to the entrance. So Bateau Bay is right in between the key growth precincts there. And it looks like this. It's right by the beach. That's Shelley Beach. You can see in the distance, that's near Crackneck Point. Bateau Bay is actually closer to 1.1 million. It's well under this, so it's very well priced for that. But the thing is, it's surrounded by very expensive suburbs. So you can see Foresters Beach nearby, 1.473 million. Shelley's about 1.7. It's right in between the two of them. So it's good for pricing, but I'll just say something, be careful here. Don't buy on the western side of Bateau Bay of the Central Coast Highway. There is a lot of public housing up the hill there, so don't buy there. I'm talking about strictly the eastern side there of the highway there. That's a very, very good buy. Very underpriced, great long-term prospects there. I'd say it should be priced probably closer towards the $1.4 million mark, really. But you still pick them up if you're lucky in the 1.1s quite easily. I've even done it for less. So that's probably, in my opinion, not probably, it is by far, in my opinion, your best suburb to buy there for under 1.25 million, even close to 1.1 in the Central Coast of New South Wales, $1.5 million. Literally $1.5 million scheme max. So this has plenty to go in that as well. Let's get to the final one, and this is the very top of the bracket. Now, I'll give everyone an insight. My second, and I'll give it a close honourable mention. The second one I would have said before this would have been Cooks Hill in Newcastle. But the reason I haven't mentioned it is because I like Cooks Hill, don't get me wrong. I like it for all reasons, but the dwelling you'd want to get in Cooks Hill is quite hard to find for under 1.5 million. And also not only that too, but most of your first time buyers in Newcastle and the ones that will be affected, it will affect a little bit of a lower budget range in Newcastle. If you're really lucky and you could buy the right one in Merriweather or Cooks Hill, I would buy it. But as an aggregator, it's going to be quite hard to do. But so what I've done is I've actually stuck to the Central Coast again. And the suburb I'm going to mention is North Avoca. Now, if you look online, it will show you that it is a touch over 1.5 million, but I'm telling you, you can still get them in the right streets and the right pockets for under 1.5 million, because what happens is you get these idiot real estate agents who don't know what they're talking about. And what they'll do is they'll still list them closer to the median. And some of them, in the right streets, still for under 1.5 million. And North Avoca is sort of a suburb where you have these, like you can see in the background in the surf here, it's a good surf spot as well. But you can see, you got these waterfront, basically beachfront ones in North Avoca. But what they do is when the market's depressed or it's a little bit down, they don't sell their homes. But when the market goes up, they start to sell their homes again. And there's not that many homes really in North Avoca. There is, but not that. It's not a massive suburb. So what happens is when they don't sell them, the median drops quite a bit. And when they do sell, the median picks up a bit. So I think North Avoca hit like 2.3 or 2.4 million in like 2022 or something like that. But it was because all the healthy or the really rich ones were selling their homes. So the realistic median there was probably 1.85 or something like that, but it showed more because of those more expensive homes selling. But now, because they aren't selling, what's happened is it's come down a bit. So it's come right close to 1.5. Realistically, the median should be around 1.7, to be honest. It's come down a bit. But these idiot agents are still listing them for under 1.5. And you're getting the opportunities like you would not believe. And really, North Avoca it's like a village-like community by the sea. So it looks like this. There's a surf club, there's a couple little cafes nearby, but it's a very much a local sort of community and it's very tightly held. So North Avoca particularly, you're not going to pick up one next to the beach for 1.5 million. It'll be a little bit back, but it's still a good street. But some of these streets and that kind of thing have already gentrified. And what happens when they've already gentrified is you may only have one older home left on the street. It'll sell for the same price as almost a newer home because there's no other options, and people just bid it up. So you want to be buying in streets where they're good, there's potential for them to gentrify, and you're not buying when the street is almost already gentrified, because that's what happens in the market when that goes on. So don't be late to the cycle, be early.